So, hi there everybody, great to be with you all. Yes, next stream is on Thursday, which will be the 20th of March, and that will be at 3:30 UK time. And let's see, so hi to Julia, hi to Manisco, hi to Oksana, hi to Renyard, hi to Victoria, hi to Yuri, and to Vitali. Wonderful to have you all. And here we go. Okay, this was an article about showing Rorschach inkblots to a computer. Notice, Oksana, I've learned to pronounce it today. Rorschach. Yes, all of these exercises are my own, although I do use BBC articles to base them upon. So let's see. The sentence transformations, I normally write them myself. So, recent extensions, progress, spread, developments in the capability of AI models like OpenAI's ChatGPT means it's now possible to put that to the test. So, developments from Vitali, developments from Julia, progress from Renyard. Soon the computer is going to be able to talk to you. You're going to take your phone, you're going to speak to it in English, and everyone around you is going to understand exactly what you've said in their own language. Good morning, Victor. So, progress for Victoria. This one's interesting. So, we've got 2 for developments, 2 for progress. You draw information from sources redundant. Development, says Patricia. Great to see you, Patricia. Well done. On time. Progress. I think this in. Progress in the capabilities. This in. Let's see. I don't like progress in the capabilities at all, Oksana. Developments in the capabilities of AI models. Recent developments. Because you're going to be learning all your life, Yuri. So recent developments in the capabilities means that it's now possible. Recent progress. Developments in. Developments in, it's going to be, you see, I would say, Oksana, it's in the capabilities. I would say that in goes with the capabilities. Let's see, I think progress fits, but developments I think is a better answer. Recent developments in the capabilities of AI means it's now possible to put that to the test. Okay, and let's continue. Rorschach. So-called multimodal models can accept image-based inputs and provide responses as easily as when interacting with text-based prompts, alerts, prods, signs, thanks to their machine vision capabilities. Extensions to. Recent extensions to. I suppose it would have to be a 2, I quite agree, although I still don't like extensions very much. Alert, says Vitali, prompt, says Julia, Honk says prompts, Victoria says prompts. Progress in. Yeah, okay, the progress in this subject, my progress in English is very good. The progress of my English, in or of, they're both good. So Vitali's asking a prompt in. Okay. Let's see. For this word prompts, in the theatre, there's a person that sits by the stage and is reading the lines from the book, and if the actor forgets their lines, this person is called the prompter, and they prompt, they push, oi, oi. They give the actor the lines when they forget them. Okay, so a prompt is something that pushes you to answer. Or for example, you don't pay your bill and they keep prompting you to pay your bill. You've forgotten to pay it. Come on, come on. To prompt somebody to do something, to elbow them. Spread in. Good afternoon from India. Okay, so Vitali says alerts, Julia says prompts, Honk says prompts, Victoria says prompts. Okay, signs. Okay, what does prompt mean? To prompt is to push. Spread in for the previous one. Alerts, says Patricia. Audio prompt. Okay, a prompt is something that's suggesting that it's time to act. Sufla in Polish instead of prompt. Okay, yeah. To whisper. To prompt. To whisper in somebody's ear. Okay, so I think a lot of you have missed this. Chat prompt is the lingo when it comes to ChatGPT topic. Okay, when you give the ChatGPT information, that's its prompt. That says, here, this is the information to use. Now give me an answer. It's you're prompting, you're pushing for an answer. To prod, you could prod with a stick or to prod with your finger. Yeah, oi. Text-based signs or alerts, no. So, for example, when I do the one where you've got to fill in the gaps, there's a gap, and this is the prompt for you to invent a word. Because you are pushing it to give an answer. And I guess you're asking it a question, or you're giving it information for it to reply. Good morning, God's love, and good morning, Susanta. So prompt, to poke, to say, oi, come on, answer me. Yeah, and that is a prompt. Okay, it's pushing to answer, asking for a response. Thank you, Honk. That's a good way of describing it. We gave ChatGPT 5 of the 10 common images used in an inkblot test to see how it would translate, interpret, diagnose, deduce the images. Okay, so we've got interpret from Vitali and Oksana directly. Let's see what the rest of you are going to say. Okay, so does it translate the images? Does it interpret the images? Does it diagnose the images? Or does it deduce the images? Interpret from Honk, interpret from Susanta, interpret from Julia and Manisco, interpret from Victoria and Yuri, interpret from Renyard. What's an inkblot? It's a Rorschach test. This is a test that psychologists use, and they show you a blot of ink that's been put on a page, and then you look at it and say what you think it is. Okay, so interpret for Patricia as well. Interpret for Chaya. Welcome, Chaya. Lovely to see you. So you translate to another language. You diagnose a disease. You deduce from evidence. You get evidence. From evidence. Susanta says technically I think ChatGPT translates everything, even a voice message, to react to the images. That's okay, but that's for the previous one, for the prompt. Okay, interpret. How it would interpret the images. And I think maybe this is the question. We as humans interpret the image, whereas I think this machine, I'm not sure if it's interpreting or just following its program. But the AI system's training data, information that helps establish its knowledge, makes it tricky, slippery, dodgy, sneaky to do so. So Vitali says tricky, but the AI system's training data, information that helps establish its knowledge, makes it tricky, slippery, dodgy, sneaky to do so. We've got tricky from Vitali and Julia and Oksana and Victoria. Construe. Yes, for the last one. I like construe. How the AI construes the inkblot test. Okay, Renyard goes for tricky. Manisco goes for dodgy. Honk goes for tricky. Slippery for Patricia. Okay, slippery means it's easy to slip. Tricky says slipknot. Let me explain these. Dodgy could be only human. Okay, let's look at these words. So let's see. Sneaky is something that's rather dishonest. So this guy is very sneaky, or the fox is very sneaky in the way he catches the chickens. Hi, Slipknot. Slipknot goes for slippery slope. Okay, here. It will misconstrue the inkblots. Very good. You see, construe was a good word from Vitali. Misconstrue, I love. Okay, so somebody who's sneaky, they're dishonest. Something that's dodgy, you can't trust it. So, tricky, says Chaya. For example, I ate a dodgy hamburger last night and I've got a really bad stomach. Dodgy is like someone who's conspicuously bad. That's very good, Void Ocean. Dodgy, scummy. Yes. If something is dodgy, you can't trust it. A dodgy motor from a dodgy second-hand car dealer. So my car is dodgy. It doesn't work very well. The origin of this is dodgy. You can't trust where it comes from. Something that's slippery, you slip on the surface. A dodgy stomach, yeah. A fish is slippery. Dodgy is questionable. A dodgy website, yes, you might end up with a virus from a dodgy website. Off the back of a lorry, I love it. The Artful Dodger, yes. Yeah, the Artful Dodger works for Fagin. Okay, something that's slippery. A fish is slippery. It escapes from your hands. The weather could be dodgy as well. So something that's slippery is something that escapes. Yeah, an eel is slippery. Wishy-washy, Yuri, means weak, without any strength, without any character. So without any strength. Ice is slippery. An eel is like a snake that lives in water. And ice is slippery. This person is very slippery and always escapes responsibility. A dodgy chair, you fall over and hurt yourself. But wishy-washy, weak, not strong, diluted. A dodgy area, dodgy, dubious, absolutely. Very good, Victoria. A dodgy leg. People who spend more than they earn are on a very slippery slope. Yes. Hangman says dodgy, but the answer here is tricky. Tricky means difficult, complicated, not easy. If something is tricky, it's not easy. Hi, Will Bond. Hi, Hangman. It's okay, Nadia, you're here. So this question is tricky, is difficult to answer. Cagey is where somebody doesn't answer, is very careful with their answers. They give away very little information. Somebody who's cagey is trying not to incriminate themselves. But this is tricky. It's a difficult thing to do. So English is a tricky language to pronounce. Some English grammar is very tricky to understand. Tricky means complicated. So tricky is complicated. Slippery, escapes easily or easy to make a mistake. Dodgy, you can't trust. And sneaky means dishonest. Okay, and I bet this doesn't fit. A trickster, yes. Showing the AI model the first inkblot card from an online database of inkblots, which is commonly interpreted by humans as a bat, butterfly or moth. Featured, identified, focused, highlighted just how literal AI vision algorithms can be. Evasive. For the previous one, I think I quite like evasive for the previous one. Makes it but okay, cagey is evasive. Cagey is somebody who's evasive. So we've got highlighted for hi Dawit, highlighted for Vitali, highlighted for Lando. I haven't said hello to Lando either. Highlighted for Oksana, highlighted for Honk. Highlighted for Victoria, highlighted for Renyard, highlighted for Julia, highlighted for Nadia, highlighted for Vandana. Welcome Vandana. Highlighted for Yuri, Manisco and the Hangman. Okay, so featured. Evasive is something that's always trying to avoid giving a direct answer. Featured, says Chaya. So English people, when they don't like something, instead of saying, oh, I hate this, they're very evasive. They don't give a straight answer. Evasive is somebody who's always trying to avoid. Hi, Abhishek. Evasive is avoiding giving a direct answer. So highlighted for Susanta. Highlighted for Patricia. So focused on, no on. Identified, no. Highlighted is magnified, is made it clear how literal these algorithms can be. Good. Literal, real. Let's see, when you have an idiom, Honk, you you shouldn't look at the literal meaning. Caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, but you're not literally caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Emphasized, accentuated, stressed, underline. Reveal, yes. Rorschach. It's the same as the inkblot. I had real problems, Mauro, with this Rorschach, and I looked it up. Rorschach. You've got to choose the word. So the difference between highlighted and insight. Highlighted is something that shines on something. This is something that stands out. So to to emphasize, to highlight, to stress, to underline, whereas insight is your view inside something. Yes, so Rorschach model. I'm pretty sure it's Rorschach. Last time I had real problems pronouncing it. Okay, reveal can also fit correct. Sitting on the fence answer. Insight is a noun while highlight is a verb. But to have insight into is to have a feeling about something. So this image is a Rorschach inkblot, often used in psychological assessments to explore perception, judgment, conception, observation and interpretation, the chatbot replied. So, perception from Oksana, perception from Vitali, perception from Julia, perception from Honk, perception from Nadia, perception from Manisko. Okay, I have trouble. Well, perception from Hangman, perception from Jaya, conception for Susanta, conception for Victoria, perception for Renyard. Okay, to explore the way people perceive, see and interpret the chatbot. Perception for Vandana. Okay, to explore observation. Observation is just looking at something and the things you see and the things you don't see. Perception for Patricia. Judgment, but judgment, this is good, that is bad, this is the best. And conception of concept. You see, concept talks about ideas, or to conceive an idea. Okay, that's exactly it, Void Ocean. People perceive different things in different ways. Conception, conception is normally, for me, is where a baby is born, where the sperm meets the egg. Conception, the way you conceive something. Conception is talking about inventing, making, creating. Whereas perception, the light goes into your eye and then you perceive different things. It's perception. The Immaculate Conception, exactly, Vitali. A concept. A concept is a way of doing things. Conception is more about how the idea is formed. Fusion. Conception is maybe a fusion of ideas, but perception is understanding and interpretation. So let's continue. And pronunciation's got Rorschach, that's the point. A Rorschach test, that's the only pronunciation. It is intentional, schemed, formed, scheduled, designed to be ambiguous, so that each person might see something different, depending on their experiences, emotions, and imagination. So, designed for Honk, designed for Vitali, designed for Julia, designed for Victoria, designed for Dawit, designed for Manisko, designed for Nadia. So it is intended. Designed for Oksana, designed for Renyard. It's intended to be. It's schemed to be. Now, somebody who is scheming, it's designed for Vandana, designed for Patricia. It is by design. It is by design ambiguous. Good, Yurichka. Its ambiguity is intentional. It is intentionally designed. Yes, definitely. Devised would work. It's supposed to be. Yes, Dawit. It's meant or supposed to be ambiguous. Scheme is plotting. It's designed. Yes, Chaya. It's formed. It's scheduled. Is time. It's designed. Yes, it's designed to be. It's created to be ambiguous. Was it by accident or by design? It was by design, Yuri, definitely. Pretense spoiled. It then went on to explaining what it saw in the same answer without me having to prompt it further. To push it to give answers. So, designed with a target to achieve. Notice this use of prompt without me having to say more things to push it. So, to explain for Vitaly, to explain for Honk. Further for Vitaly. Dawit for explaining. Further for Oksana, to explain for Honk, further for Victoria, further for Manisko, to explain from Victoria, explaining and further from Renyard, to explain and further from Julia, explaining and further from Chaya, to explain and further from Nadia, explaining further from Vandana, throw something farther. Move a conversation further. Very good, Ocean. Very good, Void Ocean. Explain for Hangman. So AI is getting automatic explaining. In the explaining, says Oksana. Patricia says it to explain. Julia says explaining. And further. The Hangman further. Unseen distance. Victoria's going to change for explaining. Okay, let me look at both of these. It's clear that you know the farther one more clearly. Yeah, native speakers confuse these two as well. But these are easy. Farther means more distant. So... yeah, I'm here in Spain, and Germany is farther away than France. Farther means more distant. Further means additional. Went to explain Dawit's change. Farther is physical distance. Further is additional. They can be the same, but it's better to use further for additional and farther for more distant. So it sounds like explaining would tell he continued doing something. Explain would tell he did one thing and then switched to the explanation. That's very good. Your answer is fine, Oksana. Go on to do. Yeah, go on. So, an extra mile further. Go an extra mile further, exactly. So, he went on to explain. Stop one thing and do it, and do something else. So, I was driving my car, and I stopped driving, ing, you stop the thing you're doing, to buy a newspaper. Okay, so stop explaining says you stop what you're doing. To explain says why you are doing it. Vandana says went on to explain. I think it went on to it. So it in the previous one, it says what the Rorschach test is, And then from that it stopped explaining what the test is and went on to the next thing. So Oksana's asked about pretense spoiled. Pretense spoiled is the fact that the AI knows that this is a Rorschach test and it knows what it's supposed to do. Yeah, went on to explaining is plain wrong. Absolutely. Went on to explain. Yeah, he stopped smoking. He put out his cigarette. He stopped to smoke. He stopped and lit a cigarette. They're the opposite. But pretense spoiled. So this shows that the AI understands that this is a Rorschach test. It understands what a Rorschach test is for, and it's now not there is no trick in it. Went on interpreting the inkblots. Went on to interpret. Personally, I think they both fit. That it went on explaining or it went on to explain. In the original, they put on went on to explain. So it stopped one thing and then did another. And further instead of farther. Okay. So let's continue. For me, explaining used as a noun form. Yep. It continued explaining. So for me, it resembles, parallels, looks, seems, equates, something symmetrical, possibly two animals or figures facing each other, or a single entity with wings outstretched, the chatbot responded. So, with the previous question, as long as you understand why, it doesn't matter what you answered. What happens if the ink blocks modify their shapes before your eyes? But then you need to go and see the oculist. So we've got looks for Dawit, resembles for Oksana, resembles for Vitali, resembles for Lando, resembles for Renyard, resembles for Chaya, resembles for Vandana, looks like exactly Dawit, so it can't be looks. Resembles for Victoria, resembles for Abe. It seems... You see, I would say Manisco, it seems like, it seems to be, it seems like, it needs something, seems needs something else. It rings a bell, something symmetrical. You see, I would say it rings a bell. It looks like. It doesn't really work, Yuri. It resembles. It seems as if it is. It seems as if it were. Resembles for Patricia. So parallels. No, parallels is much more common with concepts. It looks like, it seems like, it equates to, but it resembles no prepositions. It resembles no prepositions. Okay. It seems like hangman. It seems like. So last one for today. Resembles. Yes, Julia, this is the last for today. The beauty of these ink blots is that they call, request, invite, ask, beckon, tempt, individual interpretations. Bears a semblance to. So Oksana says invite. Vitali says invite. Invite for hangman. Beckon for Victoria. Beckon is come here, come here. To beckon with your hand, over here, come here. No, beckon is not right. It's Victoria Orlando. To parallel, yes, you can use parallel as a verb. The book Heart of Darkness is paralleled in the film Apocalypse Now. To parallel as a verb, definitely. So when your friend waves to you and says, come here, that's to beckon. Julia goes for invite, so does Chaya, and so does Vandana. Request. But a request is where you ask somebody to do something. No. They evoke. No, because it's asking it. So they call for, they ask for, they are inviting, to invite, eliciting. Elicit was another verb that I was thinking about, but I didn't want to put. Invite for Victoria, invite for Nadia, good. Invite for Eddie, invite for Abe. All said and done. What's an ink blot? It's a blot of ink. So Susanta, look up the word Rorschach, which all of this has been about. There's something psychologists use, Susanta. Spark individual, spark works. I'm almost good here, but sucks in the sentence transformation. This is much easier than the sentence transformations, Hangman. They lend themselves to is a good one. Bye bye, Hangman. Thank you, Julia. Invite, me too, Dawit. Invite. Entice works, definitely. They tempt interpretation. They invite. They invite. It's making it easy to come. So, one second. So that's an ink blot for you, Susanta. That's the ink blot. That's the idea of an ink blot. Entice is a good word. So that's enough for today. So what do you see in that, Susanta? Difficult to know. So let's see. Next stream. See you on Friday. Lovely. Next stream is Thursday, Victoria. Next stream is on Thursday, which is Allure. Yes, Abe. You see a bat. Okay, that's your ink blot. Thursday, the 20th. I thank you, Victoria. You are so generous. What can I say? That's so generous of you, because you do it so often as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Victoria. Next stream's on Thursday, 20th of March at what time? At 3:30 p.m. UK time. The 10th super on. So thank you so much, Victoria. Okay, well, whatever. You can watch. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Friday's sentence transformation as well, same as Tuesday. It's two people having a whale of a time standing on a merry-go-round. It's a stone pipistrelle. A massive shout out to Victoria. Absolutely, Dawit. I quite agree. So thank you for coming again. It's good to see you, Maudon. And let's see, I've got to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to Abahay. Thank you to Chaya. Thank you to Dawit. Thank you to Eddie. Thank you to Julia. Thank you to Lando. Thank you to Manisco. Thank you to Maudel. Thank you to Nadia. Thank you to Oksana. Thank you to Patricia. Thank you to Renyard and Susanta. Thank you to the Hangman. Thank you to Vandana, thank you to Victoria, thank you to Yuri, Yurochka, and thank you to Vitali as well. It's been wonderful having you all, and I hope to see you all on Tuesday. A pelvis. It's just an ink blot, Renya. That's the point. Okay, yes. So take care all of you, and I will see you on Thursday. Take care.